Son d'un papel!
Oh, my wiener.
A 1, 2. Is this on? All right. What up, y'all? Comics Plus. We haven't done this in a while, but this is indeed the weekly Wednesday. What's up? This is Akasan here in post-production, just recording a little bit right now to talk to y'all, to wrap with y'all. I actually planned on doing something a little bit more for like a month or 2 months. I was filming a bunch of stuff on my motorcycle in with the Instagram, the Insta360 X4. I bought that like about half a year ago or whatever, and I was gonna put together this whole compilation and come back strong, but yeah, as you can see, it didn't work. So that's gonna take some time to try to figure out how to upload 360, and you know, the more I delay it, the less you guys get content on YouTube. So what you're watching right here is last week. Actually almost a week ago, we on Twitch and Kick, we did go to Kawasaki. We just drove around my town of Kawasaki. We went to Costco, and then I tested out this barbecue sort of pit area that you can rent for about 1,000 yen, which is like $8.50 or whatever. 1,000 yen for 4 hours. There was nothing. It looked like a damn cemetery. But if you want to see the whole video, it's on Twitch and Kick about a week ago. So that's what's going on here. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to get something out for you guys, because I haven't done a video in a while, and I keep telling people that we're bringing the weekly Wednesday What's Up back. But believe it or not, even though this looks like low-level work that we're doing, this even took time to make, about 2 hours or 3 hours to make, just this recording that we're talking about right now. But I'll try to get some better stuff in the future. Anyways, for some of you guys, this might be the only time, this might be the first time you've ever actually seen me driving. As you can see, the steering wheel is on the right hand side instead of the left, and for some of you that might be kind of weird, actually. Believe me, for me, it's also kind of weird. I still have problems adjusting sometimes. Sometimes I tend to just shift back into the natural order of things and drive on the wrong side of the road if there aren't any cars in front of me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, look, like it's 1 year of driving in Japan versus 10, maybe 15 years of driving in Los Angeles and Las Vegas and other places, right, in America, right? It's gonna be, like, it's still taking me some time, and I only really drive once a month to go to Costco. That's it. I'm trying to get into it more, but you really don't need a car in Tokyo. That's the thing. You don't need a car to get around Tokyo. The trains are faster and more convenient, and you can drink and things like that. So that's the thing. For those of you that don't know, I probably haven't really told the YouTube audience about this, but I did indeed get a license about a year ago. After the wedding or so, I ended up just going to get applying. I went to this like driving school camp for like two and a half weeks or something north of Hiroshima in Matsuda area, and I was in this dormitory situation, and it was crazy, man. They literally separated everything. It was on one side, in one part of the land, it was the boys' dormitory, you know. On the other side, it was the women. And at 9 o'clock, it was lights out, and they locked you in. You couldn't escape the dormitory as well. So there was no smoking, no drinking, no sex. Well, yeah. There was it was a mess, dude. It was ridiculous. It was like, and every morning we just had these crazy wild breakfasts where we were so hungry. Oh man, maybe I can talk about that another day. I mean, I have some videos on what am I doing actually? I've noticed that I'm actually not driving. Like, that's the beauty of these one and done raw videos, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and edit to make some sort of beautiful compilation for y'all. Oh my god, that's hella funny, dude. I'm just like chilling. Anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Okay, so anyways, yeah, I got my license and that's fine. But to answer certain people's questions, so I got a car license, right? But that also, my car, so I had to train under, well, I didn't have to, but I trained under automatic and manual because, like, you actually need to let them know if you can drive manual, which I think is kind of silly, though, because, I mean, I get the point, but it's also kind of weird because, like, most cars, especially rental cars, they don't have manuals, not even a thing. So I think it's kind of funny because a lot of these people will be like, yo, even if they learned how to drive stick, unless they're driving a tractor or something, they're not really going to have too many opportunities. This car right now that I'm in is a Toyota Yaris Cross. It's my favorite car to drive within my area and what's available for me. I've tried a lot of different Toyotas. I also trained in Mazda, both hybrid and manual. And yeah, honestly, for the cars that are available to me and things like that, this Yaris drives well. If you can actually see to the right hand side, to my right in this video, you can see how this window is actually, there's more, the blind spot is not open as well. So that little gesture that I just did is called a triangle. I'm sorry, a question mark. And essentially, one of my driving teachers in Japan taught me that, was like, okay, that's how you check the turn signal. Wait, no, I don't even, now I don't even remember, but it's like, okay, it's the power, the turn signal, and then the shifting the gear, like that. It's kind of funny, right? Anyways, so I do that every time now, because even the windshield wiper, so sometimes I will accidentally hit the left side of the left trigger, because for me in America, that was the turn signal, right? I think. Actually, I don't even remember anymore. But sometimes I hit it and yeah, it doesn't work. Or like, I think I'm supposed to be making a left or a right. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just choked on something. Then I realized the bottom right side was showing the weather. I need to fix that later as well. So this is me checking out using these. I mean, goddamn though, but yo, I gotta tell you all, I don't know how it is in America or outside of the world, but man, these hybrid cars are insane. Like, they're so freaking quiet. I personally, it took me a while to actually really get used to not having an actual physical key anymore, like pushing a start button. And I know that's been a thing for a few years already now, but it's so weird to me, honestly. Like, not hearing, when you turn on a car, not really hearing like the like that. Like, it's really creepy to me, honestly. Yeah. Now, all that being said, so my license that I have, automatic and manual, it also allows me to also drive mopeds, like I guess we call them mopeds, right? Those yeah, I guess we call them mopeds. Or there's one other thing, the thing that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, was driving around and delivering pizzas, like those little 50cc sort of 50cc engines and scooters. I guess scooters, right? So there is a particular model that Honda made that's looks like a motorcycle. It's like a kind of like a dirt bike, if that's the best way I can explain it. I think they actually they used to be they were discontinued like 10 years ago or something, but they're still around. It's called the Honda Magna 50cc Goju CC, and that's the kind of motorcycle that I'm driving now. So that one is covered by my car license, and essentially that's what I ended up a fan while watching one of the live streams, and we were shopping for different scooters. I was looking at the Yamaha Joy. I was looking at a few different scooters, and they all looked lame as hell, dude. Like they looked mad lame. Like there was nothing that was going to make me look good. My big ass and one of those small ass scooters, nah, man. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like kind of those giant ass bears riding tricycles or something at the circus or whatever. Like that's like the size difference. I just would have looked so comical in one of those scooters or whatever, that there was no saving that. Secondly, the other reason was the fact that I ended up getting this motorcycle instead of like just owning a car every day. It's not really, it's not affordable. It's not worth it. As I was kind of saying, like, you don't really drive a car. You don't need to drive a car every day in Tokyo, Kanagawa kind of area. Like if you're living in like the boonies, like Chiba or Saitama, and that's kind of the job you need to do. Yeah. Generally, you're gonna need to drive like that. But like Kanagawa, Tokyo, it's really easy just to jump on a train, real quick, and jet on over to what you need to do. But particularly for one of the jobs that I have, which is in kind of like Tsunashima area, it's by taking the train. It's about an hour. It takes an hour or so to get there by train. The 2 trains, 2 buses, whatever. But by motorcycle or car or whatever, it's like 25 minutes. So that's basically was what we ended up doing. Was sometime last year when I got this new job, I was like, all right, we need to get there. So we got to get there a lot easier, a lot faster. So that's how I ended up purchasing the Honda Magna, and it has been a lot of ups and downs, but it's been a wild ride. I'll try to get more footage of that later. I've gone to communities with I've gone to meetups and everything. That's what I should have done for you guys. Oh well. Next time, I'll try to get some video footage of the community thing where I've met other members who have that same Magna, and it's been good. It's been a good way to practice my Japanese and things like that. The next meetup will be in December, I believe, and sometimes they have ride-alongs, so if I can get the time off, I'll try to join them for the drive-arounds and things like that. Look at that faded Akasan shirt, y'all. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Like, there's been a lot of other stuff that's been going on, especially on the Twitch and Kick side of live streaming and what have you not. But I try to do as much as I can on YouTube, but the feeling itself is not as it's not as strong as it used to be, and that's understandable, right? Because it's been what 10 plus years now, what 12 years or something. Like, if it's gonna be, honestly speaking, it's gonna be really hard to have that same enthusiasm for exactly the same thing over and over again, right? Like that's the reason a lot of people will drop off or fall off after some time, because they don't really know exactly how to like reinvent themselves, or they don't know how to find like the same sort of drive and you know, doing. You can't do the same thing over and over again, right, and still expect the same results. Probably not. So with that being said, it's just like, you know, the fandom, the interest that I have in like doing certain videos has changed, right? But I know for my audience it's not necessarily what they want to see, and that makes sense. You know, I personally would love to just do lots of grab your girl content and whatever, and put that on YouTube. And as I've always said, this channel, the Akasan channel, Comics Plus, whatever, has always been just about like a mix of like Japan stuff, and we get some reaction videos in there as well. And of course, obviously, the reaction videos do much better than anything else. But even that will change, right? So like, you don't want to really invest too much stock into just letting your Twitch stream or your Kick stream or your YouTube video or channel be kind of like your entire life, right? You don't want that to just define you. Look, if YouTube up and disappeared or whatever, like, nothing's gonna take away what I've accomplished on the channel, right? And the way I get recognized almost daily, right? But you know, it's still something that I'm still passionate about trying to maintain and hold on to, but I don't let it get to me. Like, for example, every time, which I find is kind of funny, I find very funny, is like every time I get a viral video that goes, or a video that starts to get traction, like there will be like 2 or 3 weeks where the regulars, the hardcore, the Red Dreaded Nation will come in, we watch the video, see me react to something, whatever, and then we move on, right, to the next thing. But then there will be videos where something will really go buzzworthy and get 20,000 views or whatever, 127,000 views or whatever, and then that's when I get the wild ass people that'll come in and be like, man, this guy's still struggling, like, but is it really struggling? Like, is it really struggling, the fact that I'm still recognized and people are still coming and we're still getting views, right? Like, you know, success is only gauged by the person who's gauging it, right? And it doesn't really care. It doesn't really matter what other people think of what you're doing, as long as you're satisfied with what you're doing, right? 200,000 subscribers was great 10 years ago, right? It's okay now. It's okay now, but, you know, we can't really factor exactly the measurement of success and a YouTuber's lifeblood or lifeline or career or whatever. It's hard to really say, like, how many YouTubers have kind of come and go, right? And how many YouTubers have taken a break and then they try to come back and they can't get that same traction, right? So it's all relative to this situation. Not everybody is going to be kaisen at, or right, or not everybody's going to be like, well, I honestly can't think of any YouTuber who has stayed like just a YouTuber, you know. Even like someone like PewDiePie is like not really in the conversation anymore, right? But he's still doing well for himself, I guess. And then as long as he's happy, you know, I think essentially just like any sort of career, any sort of career in entertainment, you got to kind of know when to cash your chips in and sort of just ride a certain way. Like Japan is kind of similar like that, where you have like these dudes that they're not really 15 minutes of fame, but you have they're called talento, and they're kind of buzzworthy for a while, and then they just kind of fade into obscurity, but they're still kind of around and people recognize them or whatever, and they still get business, still get money, right? So I guess that's kind of where it is right now. And now we're really seeing like this resurgence of like, you know, 10 years later, it's Man of Steel, Superman, whatever, and we're in the conversation again, and it's just like, all right, well, it is what it is, right? Like, the world itself, they even said it the other day, it was like, people are not going to the movies as much anymore, right? So the hype obviously isn't there, it's not the same anymore, but it's still I think I'll always stand by my statement. Is like, look, if you're a fan of something, it's not going to matter what the numbers are, right? It's not going to matter how big you get or how famous you're. If you're actually a fan of something, you're doing it for the passion, and that's kind of where it's always been for me and the channel. It's like, look, if I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it, and I'll put some videos out there. Like, if I don't put a video out for like 2 weeks, well, there just wasn't really anything for me to talk about. I can't sit up here and make controversial content just for the sake of getting clickbait and get views and things like that. That just doesn't work with my particular life, and I still have enough privacy situations and things that I do out here that can put family members in danger and things like that. You know, there's even cases where I have to run into certain parasocial sort of relationships where people really think that they have some sort of like attachment with me because they grew up watching me, or they've been watching me for a while, right? And you know, it's cool because, you know, they feel like there's a closeness, and I don't disagree with that at all, but there's still also boundaries that need to be sort of made as well. So and I still have that. So, you know, there's times where I'm just like, oh man, I knew this day would come where I gotta like quit my job or leave or something because that more private side of me is being recognized. And you know, there's even times where like customers recognize me and things like that. I've had this situation where my wife and we were having this argument about me getting a job at Apple. Like, I was offered to work, like, you know, at the Apple store or something like that, and I was just like, well, that's not gonna work, because it's like, particularly at that time, I think that was like, what, 8 years ago or whatever, around that time, that was when the whole DCU thing was going on, and I was getting stopped a lot in Shibuya and things like that, and I'm like, yo, dude, the last thing I can really do is like be out there on the floor where, can you imagine me wearing an Apple shirt? Like, hey guys, thanks for being an Apple-tacular. Like, yeah, can I interest you in a new iPhone? And it'd be like, Akasan, is that you? What are you doing here? You know, it's just like, it creates such a disruption of business. Like, you know, last thing I need somebody to get on. Yo, Akasan works at the Apple store in Shimbashi. You know, like, nah. So it just wouldn't work that way. And there's been cases where that has happened. So, but I will say there's been better cases where it's happened, where, you know, I get recognized and it's like, cool, like we get the hookups for something or whatever, right? So, anyways, let's move on here. You are now watching The Roads of Kawasaki, and I guess let's talk about Superman just a little bit. And the only thing I really wanted to say about that, because it's relevant, right, is like, don't believe any of the posts, honestly. Don't believe any of the posts, because I'm like, yo, people literally post for engagement. That's it. That's their job. Like, there's one person, I believe, that worked at used to work at Rocksteady or whatever, I believe, and he posted literally how much money he makes from Twitter, like over $500 a month or something from Twitter, and maybe per post. Basically, if it's rage bait sort of interaction where the you know, it'll just be, you know, the type of threads, he'll have a statement that he says, something he personally is just his opinion, and then just gets hammered with thousands of comments trying to tell him how he's wrong or whatever, right? He's wrong or he's right, and it's an argument and people are fighting, but yo, that generates him a shitload of money. And that's literally the way it is, dude. Like, that's like, and I say this for both sides. Like, look, there's people who fundamentally hate everything about this new Superman movie. But I'd say a good amount of these people online bickering about it are just people that are just trying to content rage bait for content so they can get paid. You know what I'm saying? Whereas there's also the smaller amount of people talking, talking about how great the movie is and things like that. And same situation, like, then there will be people that just do it just to, like, which one do you like better, Man of Steel or Superman, like that, or man, Henry Cavill's Superman would body David Cornswood. It's like, and the original poster doesn't give two f's about what they're talking. They just want their content farming. That's all it is, guys. Don't fall for it. Like what you like. Don't let these kind of like controversies or manufactured controversies take away your joy of entertainment and things like that, right? That's really all I wanted to say about Superman, because I myself was like, bro, I saw the movie, made my video on it, and that was it, right? And I'm like, 2 weeks later, I'm like, damn, people are still posting rage bait content on Twitter and still making videos about like how much they hate it or what's fundamentally wrong about how much money it's losing and blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, like, it's one thing if it's like already like I would even say, even if it's a dying breed, like even if it's a dying franchise, it's like, bro, you don't need to keep talking about it. Like I noticed the same thing for Thunderbolts, Black Adam, whatever, right? Like it's just like, yo, this is the only thing that a lot of these people have to live off of financially, to be financially stable, right? So they make these rage bait titles. And there's been so many times, like, you just check out my Twitter, you'll see I call out a few of these clickbait sort of videos that are being made, and I'm just like, well, that's bait, that's bait. The actual Superman movie itself, yeah, it was cool. I liked it. It was, I think James Gunn actually did something that I didn't think could be done, and that's make Superman like relevant and like sort of like humanized Superman in this sense. Like, and like you're talking to someone who has seen, I'm pretty sure, almost every iteration of Superman live screen, right? We're talking about even before. Yeah. What the hell was that sound? Okay. What was that? Okay. We're talking about even before the Christopher Reeve stuff. Like I sat, I've sat through some of the black and white stuff, the Fletcher, I want to say, Fletcher animation, like it's a bird, it's a plane, all that stuff, man. Like, and there's been within the last 10 years, right? If we're just taking the iterations of like Superman and Lois, Zack Snyder's Superman, Man of Steel, the sort of converted version post Zack Snyder with Henry Cavill's Superman. There's all these situations where they've done it, and even the Batman and Superman Adventures, the animated stuff, with Kevin Conroy as Batman and the father-son team. Their name escapes me right now, but we'll just say the Bruce Timm produced universe of Justice League and things like that. There's always this situation where I feel like fundamentally they always try to really do their best to humanize, minus Zack Snyder's version, but there's been this humanization of like doing Superman. But I felt like James Gunn really tapped into the All-Star Superman sort of storyline, which I believe somebody corrected me already, but I believe it was Grant Morrison. I might be wrong. Tom Ellis also, like, it was the more modern day Superman where they actually had Superman bleed and he wasn't all powerful, right? And I kind of would have was expecting something like that to happen, particularly with James Gunn at the helm here. But at the end of the day, like spoilers, the whole twist on Jor-El's family, which has been done in the comics in the past, and even I think the Supergirl CW show kind of touched upon that as well. That was the whole situation. Was like, okay, it's kind of similar to like, it's not who you do, it's not who you are that counts, but what you do that defines you. And it's that same sort of thing. It's like, yo, it's not what your parents expect you to be or want you to be. It's who you choose to be, right? And what you install that makes you a good person or not. And it kind of made things kind of full circle sort of thing. And that as well, which I think is kind of funny, where it's like that's like taking a little pieces from Dragon Ball as well, because Son Goku's parents, weren't necessarily supposed to be like that. They've changed it over the years, and they made Batroc a little different now. But yo, the Zayn's were supposed to be dominating as well. So yeah, it's really not a big deal. Again, I feel like a lot of that is just manufactured controversy just to find something so fundamentally wrong with James Gunn's Superman, right? I'm like, yo, okay, whatever, dude, kick rocks, like, whatever. I thought it worked really well, and it's not a big deal. Like, yo, how many how many Jor-El like stands are really out there, right? Like, you've ruined the character. Nah, dude, it's all good. It's all good, not a big deal. Krypton had its chance. That I'm also very interested in Supergirl for sure. Because I'm a big fan of Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon. I think she fits that world of Superman, or that world of Supergirl. And I believe Tom Taylor, was it Tom Taylor that wrote a Girl of Tomorrow, Woman of Tomorrow, like that? Yo, let's go, man. Like, yeah, the whole look up changing to look out. Yeah, let's do it, man. So there's no going backwards, dude. My personal opinion is, I'm glad that we are stepping into a new franchise, a new world, and kind of a reboot of the DC world. So far, it's off to a decent start. I don't really care how much money it makes, as long as, Warner Brothers is happy with the outcome and they keep putting more into it, and they have faith in it. And, as long as the audience is not, like, again, I don't count really online outrage or whatever. Look, as long, like, the majority of the people around, outside of, like, comic fans, I'm talking about just general audience type people, when I've talked to them about where DC used to be, and they just keep on saying it was just too dark. Like, it was too dark, and it wasn't, like, Superman looked really scary and shit, and it was kind of I was like, okay, then I understand. I hear that a lot. So I see where James Gunn is going. I personally I didn't really like the cinematography, the colorization of James Gunn's Superman. Myself, I didn't like that kind of retro colorist vibe that it had, like, kind of like vintage sort of look. For me personally, not really my style. I'm not a big fan of that. But if it works, it works. But I've never liked that style. I didn't like it with Superman Returns either. Like, I didn't like the backtracking that way. But at the same time, we've seen what happens when there's a more revisionist history of a revisionist sort of edgy, this kind of edgy edgelord type of look, where I believe is more like the way Jim Lee would introduce Superman occasionally with the whole glowing red eyes and like floating over Batman and just this like badass dude. Like, it's cool, but it's only, I think that sometimes the problem is people forget that that's supposed to be the perspective of other people. The way the antagonist tends to see Superman. So a good comic is Lex Luthor, Man of Steel. That's a good comic to read. That's the way, so that whole glowing eye alien thing, badass god, that's the way Luthor sees it. Batman sees it occasionally, right? A lot of enemies see Superman like this sort of do, but that, that's the way it, but that's not always the way Superman should be portrayed, right? As like this like hardcore warlord type of dude, like this god. And I get why it's interesting, but that only can go so far for an overarching story and gathering in other people, like Superman should be that symbol of hope, and things like that. And I think that's kind of where a lot of Snyder's stuff missed the mark by, but that's a whole different story. let's not go down that route. James Gunn Superman is here. Let's go DCU, yo. Looking forward to that future. And next week we got Fantastic Four. Actually, a few days from now we got Fantastic Four. I am going to try to get the video. I bought 2 tickets for 2 different showings, not because I want to see, I generally don't see repeat videos, but it's more or less because my schedule nowadays is just too packed and it's really hard to watch a movie. So particularly on Friday, I can't see it in the morning and I can't see it at night. And like I'm basically working the entire time, where it's really hard for me to actually watch a movie nowadays. Like even for Superman, I had to watch that at 9 o'clock at night, and then I ran to get the last train because we finished around 11:50, and like the last train was 12, and so it was hard to get that video out immediately. And the next day I was so tired, but I know it was worth it for you guys. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm working with my bosses right now to see which showing is best for me to watch, and then after that that goes without saying that also affects the review that I might have with DC Sun and Alyssa from the Oriental Pearl channel. She wants to join too, so I'll let you guys know. All right, you'll find out either on the Twitch stream or Kick or whatever like that. Okay, that's it. My ass is almost at Costco here, and this little drive on the right side is a horse racing track where they have barbecue as well. I was thinking about doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will try to make more interesting videos in the near future. I think this one is going to be a fairly large one anyways, but I hope you enjoyed the sound of my voice and me driving you around Kawasaki, baby. Like, share, subscribe. Please let more people know about this kind of stuff, and I will let you guys know on the next video update. I don't want to say next week because yeah, but I'll try to put more of these videos out for you guys in due time. We'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out of here. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.